What's going on, everybody? I don't know what that was about. Um, I guess I'm talking about some. No, anyway, what's going on, everybody? My live wasn't working the way it was supposed to be working. I don't know. So I'm on on my cell phone. Something I haven't been on in a minute, and it's all good. You know what I mean? Um, what's going on? Wow, that's crazy. Um, what's going on, man? What's up, beautiful? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, beautiful? Can you
Yes,
hear
I
me?
can hear you. Yes.
Okay, man. I'm gonna tell you that's weird. My my iPad, I charged to the game. I was up there because Carrie called me like, "You still going live?" I'm like, "Yeah," but so what's up, bro? Man, I'm glad you back in the States. Man, look at me. I'm mad at you, man, 'cause you went out of the country without taking me and my wife. But that's messed up, man. You know what I'm saying? You and Samir went up there and enjoyed all that water in the ocean. Anyway, so but I'm gonna get back with you on that. But hey Carrie, how you doing? I'm sorry. I gotta use my phone today, so I ain't want to have a lot of people interrupt me, but it is what it is. So I can't say, maybe it's what I'm talking about. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I appreciate it, fam. Yeah, next time we're gonna have to talk. But I'm gonna hit you up because we need to definitely go and do some things. We got some stuff we need to talk to you about, me and Andre. So I'm talking to you ahead. So we'll get back with that though. But anyway, babe, the iPad literally was not. It was only saying post and reel. That was it. It would not let me go live. I rebooted it and everything. So hey, it's all good because I'm still gonna get out what I need to get out. You know what I'm saying? But
And that is
well, it's really about is and I use the word the purge
mhm,
not to scare anybody because that's how the article went down.
right. That's exactly what
Um,
the article said.
yeah, so I'm not saying anything that the article didn't say.
You're not
Um,
calling it the purge. The article is calling it a purge.
exactly. And the music in the background, I don't have no rights to that music. I just love jazz. And so when we're sitting out talking to you about just trying to encourage you, this is what this platform is about: encouraging you if you want to be in transportation. Um, because wow,
Stay focused. Stay focused.
yeah, see, man. So anyway, and it's really just about just trying to help you get through what's been going on.
So
I mean,
what's the main focus of the article? What did it say?
well, it talked about just basically having it's really like a reset, to be honest with you. It happened when I first started Crawford Transportation in 2004. You know, the economy was good. People buying houses, woo de woo, everything was going in the right direction. And but nobody saw this thing coming. So all of a sudden, then what? 2008, the market crash.
Hmm.
So regardless, when you start a any kind of company, what they always tell you, either you plan or you plan to fail. It's just really it's like the oldest, I guess, sentence in the book. I mean, you have to have a business plan or some type of idea if something happens. So in each one of these presidents that I've dealt with, you know, President Bush, and I'm gonna call them presidents because they're what they were. President Bush, President Obama, President Trump, no matter what you feel, President Biden. That's four presidents that I've dealt with in 17 years. And each one of them have had their things they go through. So when you hear them talking about things that's going to adjust, that's why you have to start a business with a plan. Because if you don't, just know you plan to fail.
So what the article is talking about when they say purge, what do they mean by that?
Well, what they mean by the purge is mainly talking about small transportation companies. What happened is in 2019, that's when COVID hit. COVID caught all of us off guard. So you're talking about 3 years, pretty much, of a pandemic. And so when you're up and starting a new business, you tend to not, if your numbers are not good, the banks don't lend to you. And so what happened is that along the way, a lot of companies was able to still keep their market going based off of the one thing about transportation. If you remember the key word, remember we had to get the little letter so we can go to work. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember the letter I had to get to go to work?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because transportation was considered essential.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that kept us doing what we got to do. And, of course, between the Trump administration and the Biden administration, they had to say, okay, and Kemp, they had to make some, revisions to make sure that, we could still have the tools that we need to be successful. So we had a little bit of support, from the administrations, whether state or federal level. The problem is that fuel costs is in now. I mean, you have when I first started, when I was in 2008, we had I'm sorry, what was it? 2000 and no, I think it was 1 or 2. Whenever the Iraq situation happened, fuel costs went up. Then it went from I think it was I don't quote me on it, but it was maybe $1 something for diesel. Then it went to $1.88. When the housing market adjusted itself in 2008, it was almost like $3 and $4 in places. So when you got into after President Obama, it was going in this direction. Then all of a sudden, when President Trump got in office, there were certain things that happened on his administration. And now you have a diesel at $5, $6. Well, the $5 and $6 now is tied to the COVID. The type of things we needed. What happened was when we was trying to make it through those 3 years, right, that inflation is hitting now.
Okay.
So by inflation hitting the way it's hitting in a way that it's starting to make us. It's starting to dump on everything, along with transportation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, in regards to the purge, in the article, it's saying that truck drivers are losing their vehicles.
No, they're not losing it. They're just turning them in.
They're 6 one way, half a dozen the next. Okay.
No, it's a different with losing.
So they're saying because of. So why are they turning them in?
They're turning them in because of the overhead. Like, I go back to when I started, and we started the live probably in February, I think. So, So with February, we started the lives in February, and we started, trying to encourage this is why I was saying, get with a consultant to help you be able to, as I've been saying,
weather the storm.
Yeah, start it, run it,
grow it,
and grow it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened is, a lot of drivers bought vehicles. When they bought their trucks, guess what they did along the way? They went and got their authority. So when you get your authority, you tend to have a little bit more overhead. Because you get your authority, now you can deal with what they call the different brokers out here,
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the load boards. Because to go on the load boards, you got to have your own authority.
Right.
So a lot of drivers just jumped on the load boards. And like I said, it goes back to us being essential workers.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Boom, boom, boom. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. That's just, but the problem is how you start it. And so when they started it, a lot of them started with a lot of overhead.
And the reason that they're turning their trucks in now is because the loads aren't there, or they're not paying the same rates that they were paying before, or
They're not paying the same rates anymore.
right. So that means that the money that they was making when they
from
jumped on the transportation bandwagon,
from the
it
low
came
board.
it came to a halt.
Yeah, because the low boards was not just a straight halt. It's just the prices started coming down by equivalent to
The
about
price of
about
the load goes down.
about $300 probably.
Okay, and then the price of fuel goes up. So now it's
Exactly.
a checks and balances situation.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having foresight of what's coming down the turnpike, you made all this money, you went balled out.
Well, I'm not gonna say balled out. I'm gonna say they just didn't adjust to. You have to have a plan.
Adjust to what was coming. Yeah.
Because what happened is that I don't have a problem with somebody, taking care of, doing what they do, but um, you have to put aside finances to be able to um, take care of, certain things.
So what did it have anything to do with the rate per mile?
Of course, yeah, the rate per mile dropped to $2. At
And
one
what
time it
was
was
it?
$3,
What was it?
It was like $3 at $2.50, $3.
$2.53, and then went down to like two. You said
$2. Yeah, because what happened is that the gentleman that wrote the article, and let me just say this. This is just our opinion. The article is in Freightwaves. So anybody who wants to know, just go to Freightwaves and you'll get to see the article. That way you'll understand what we're talking about. Because it's not like this has not happened before.
mm-hmm.
Like the article said, it happened in 2019. The reason why I want to talk about the purge is because this is why I continue to say why it's important to have a consultant in this business.
Someone who can see the trends, someone who knows the trends, who can seize the trend and tell you what the best thing to do, so you can ride what word I'm looking for? Survive the trends.
Yeah, ride the wave, because the one thing about myself, I said, the one thing I don't do, I don't. My mom or my parents or my grandfather, I don't get on here to boast or brag about anything. What I do is get on here to talk about. My dad always said, "Don't talk about anything that you cannot provide proof for." The difference with me is that I can provide proof. 17 years of this. I remember when I left the company I left, it's about 6 of us. It's about 6 to maybe 7 of us left that company. We started that business in 2004. And I'm the only one left. So when I sit here and talk to you about trying to start it and run it and grow it, that's what I do. So when I hear someone talk about this particular article, it's nothing to knock the article. It's just to say what this gentleman is saying has happened several times.
Mm-hmm.
And so within my notes is basically just saying there's a reset in everything.
Yeah.
There's a reset going to be in real estate. There's a reset. That's why when you go and look at, when you're trying to get insurance for certain companies, real estate and transportation is the highest two. They're literally the highest two as far as to get insurance for.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? because the market resets with them
Mm-hmm.
always.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, and you're talking about a pandemic. There's nobody that I know that was from 19, or I think it was 1918 when the last serious pandemic was. Don't quote me on it, but I think it was like the Spanish flu or something like that. Whatever the point is that you're talking about a serious pandemic that hit us. COVID was no joke. So it reset everything that we on a day-to-day basis. So what you thought was going to happen, and then when everybody's understanding that, you know, they was going to do what they call a try to, you know, kind of still prop the economy up. It it was. I mean, where you thought that money was going to come from? And I'm not saying it to. I'm just telling everybody, just don't turn your trucks in. Just give it a second. I mean, just give it time. It gets better. Um, and so, you know, so when I read the article, it's no knock on the person that wrote it. I was just trying to encourage people, figure out how you can adjust. Because if you think about it, two of the most major ways to make money in this country took a hit. Transportation is diesel. Real estate is interest rate. Just a reset. But you can make it through it. That's all I'm about. I'm not trying to get on here and tell you what not to do. I'm just trying to figure out how I can encourage you how to look at. It's like if you go to your accountant says, okay, let me see your numbers, let me see this and this and that, and your accountant gonna tell you, okay, if you adjust here, you'll be able to make it through. That's it. That's all I'm on here for. Fuel costs, I mean, it's going to adjust because we all should understand between between the year 1999 and 2000, there was fuel injector systems. 2006, they had an EGR system in a tractor. 2012, they had the DEF system. 2023, 2024, you even had electric trucks. Learn how to adjust, meaning that I have a plan so I don't fail.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of that plan is having a consultant, somebody that can sit here and tell you, hey, man, it's going to be okay. Let's learn how to make sure your credit is good, first of all. Let's learn how to make sure your company is, you know, structured in a way that it can take the bumps and bruises, because guess what? I don't know the next pandemic. I don't know the next situation. All I know is right now in this moment, diesel is $5 and on the average $5.69. East Coast. West Coast, I think is like almost right at $6. But so you just gonna turn your truck in? Now, how do you maybe survive a little bit more? Most of the trucking companies that they were saying that's having the issues they're having, a lot of the drivers that are trying to survive, what are they doing? A lot of them say, okay, I'm gonna turn my truck in and go work for a company. That's fine. Hey, I commend you, no problem. And that's gonna be a way to get more, you know, company truck drivers, you know, going up under the bigger companies, which is fine. Number two, a lot of them, you know, are getting with, you know, other trucking companies that have, like, you know, that you can sign on to as an owner operator to deal with the fuel surcharge. You know, I'm just going to use a company like, you know, Landstar. You know, they're a pretty good company, real good company to, you know, to be able to still control being an owner operator and still say, okay, I run a small business. And number three, a lot of them are turning their authorities in. Which the problem that happened was a lot of them used their authority to get on the load boards. And for 2021 to 2022 of January and February, the load boards were paying a lot more money between April in May and definitely June, the load boards, rates have dropped down. So a lot of them are saying that, just the price of fuel and plus the rising price of fuel and the rates going like this, it's really made them like, I I can't make it like this. And I understand. So if you got a 13, 14, $1,500, truck note for the month, and you're not making the amount of money you need to make, you're out on the road and different things, you got to adjust. That's where a lot of that's at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, but a lot of the reason why it was so good between, 2001 January and 2022 January and March is because we was trying to stock the shelves back up. A lot of your shelves are back stocked now. A lot of them are, but the problem with everybody don't understand is that inflation is just not hitting America; it's hitting all over the country. But I understand the only people see it is probably at the pump, but it's all over the country. That's
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying, and that's really what the you know really what the deal is. And so with me talking about the purge, my encouragement tonight was really about trying to get a lot of drivers to say, okay, let me either reach out, get a consultant to come in and see where I made a mistake at. That's what Crawford Logistics and Associates is about. It's really about coming in and seeing how you started your company, where your company at,
Mm-hmm.
adjust and try to get you on a path
Mm-hmm.
for you to maintain. And me and Dre talked about this earlier, and he was just saying that some of the adjustments he has to do, like
Mm-hmm.
even getting down to getting a fuel card and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those things make a difference
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, your fuel card it might be due on, let's say, Monday, and you ran hard this week and you made some good money. It's not coming out of your personal account.
That's right.
Being able to being able to have ways of running your company in a perspective that has a plan. Because a lot of times I've learned from most owner operators, they run their business as a job. I literally have always told everybody, if Crawford Transportation is not Tory Crawford Transportation, it's called Crawford Transportation. And I always go on record of saying this, that if I'm no longer with this company, as far as I'm talking about this earth, then my team should be able to say to you, hey, Miss Michelle, we good. I know what Tori taught us.
Right.
That's when you say your company, because you have to have the org chart. And that where a lot of I don't rent Crawford Transportation as a job. I run Crawford Transportation. It's a company. It's its own entity. Because I could have been a selfish young man and said, okay, I'm gonna name it Tory Crawford Transportation. Then it's just about me versus running it about a company that should outlive me. And when they come to you about the business, then you should be able to say, okay, well, we'll keep it moving forward. But they are going to come to you and ask you, say, okay, Michelle, you think you can still do this? You should say, yeah, without a doubt, we got a solid team. That's business.
Mm-hmm.
That's Old Dominion.
Right.
That's YRC.
Mm-hmm.
That's Saya.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? Those companies, there's people that operate that company in a way to say, hey, no, we're gonna pick your freight up. You can believe we're gonna do what we gotta do. We're gonna manage, we're gonna run that business. We're gonna do what we gotta do. And so why can't we do the same? So that's what I mean when I say that we run this business. We run this business as a business, not a job. I just happen to work here.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I'm going at? That's why I say, so when you talk about all these things that's going on, I don't, if you call me and say, hey, Tori, you want to bring you into the company, you open your books up and I look at them, I'll be able, with my eyes closed, probably can tell you, okay, this is where you made the mistake. But guess what? We can fix it. We can fix it. We can get it going. Now, depending on what the situation is, I'm not saying it to be, boasting or bragging. I'm just saying, just telling you that we'll be able to find it, and that's what it's about. It's not about nothing else. It's about really getting everybody to understand, what do you want out of transportation? Do you want to survive? Or do you just want to just like, you know what? I mean, it's like playing poker. I mean, what? Or just like playing chess. You
Mm-hmm.
got to figure out, the best chess players has gotten beaten. The
Yeah.
best poker players have been beaten. I mean, hell, Tiger Woods one of the best golfers in the world a couple years ago, but he's been beaten. But guess what? Them dudes didn't give up, or those ladies didn't give up. It's about having being able to get, being able to say, you know what, I take business serious. You know what I'm saying? And live by it. I just get tired of people making excuses like, you really want a business? Then talk to Tory in transportation. You don't want a business? Then do you. But at the end of the day, when I do these lives, post them on my YouTube and all this and the third, guess what? I may not even be here tomorrow, but guess what them YouTube pages are?
They'll still be there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I may not speak another word. So that's what I mean when I sit and tell people, what's up, Kelsey, man? He's sorry you're late. Nah, nephew, we all working, struggling. I get you, man. It's all good, nephew. I was just
Hey,
talking about, just
hey, Mr.
talking,
Robinson.
just talking about the transportation, man. Just about the article we had on, and we'll post the article on our website. We just talk about something that is called freight waves, and we're just talking about that. And it's not, and like I said, I just want to talk to my transportation brothers, sisters that are in the transportation business, get them to understand that if you do have to start over, guess what? It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's really okay, because if your heart is really in it, it's just like playing sports. It's okay. So all you gotta do now is, okay, I just need to get a little bit more training and woo de woo, because guess what? You have a trade. It's called a CDL.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have box trucks. You don't have to have a CDL. You got sprinters. It's okay. Just figure out how I need to put a plan together to be able to take a little bit and just adjust. It's not hard. It's really about just making sure that you, as an individual, will be able to,
Ride this next wave.
exactly, like you just said, the next wave. What when you in the ocean and them surfers, they be like, oh man, that wave is bigger than the other wave. Well, nah, you ain't seen the biggest wave,
Right.
but the biggest wave is coming. So your surfboard, you got to grease it up,
Mm-hmm.
put the wax on it, and be like, okay. And guess what? If you fall off, if you ever know somebody surfer, when they fall off, it's like a string hooked to their leg.
Mm-hmm.
They never, and you know what that string is about, right? So they don't lose their surfboard.
Yeah, so they don't lose their surfboard. Yeah.
So the same thing with your truck. If you connect it with your truck or vehicle or equipment, whatever it is, then you don't have to lose it. All you gotta do is just figure out how to maintain it, and just allow it to do what it do, and you do what you do, and focus on making sure that it has what it needs to continue to be a thriving piece of equipment in this world. Because at the end of the day, when it's time to do electric trucks, it's what you gonna complain? I mean, if I would have complained in 2012 about the new DEF system, I would have just put turned my trucks in, and woo de woo, because guess what? You have a trade. It's called a CDL. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And all you got to do is just figure out how to maintain it, and just allow it to do what it do, and do what you do, and focus on making sure that it has what it needs to continue to be a thriving piece of equipment in this world. Because at the end of the day, when it's time to do electric trucks, it's what you gonna complain? I mean, if I would have complained in 2012 about the new DEF system, I would have just turned my trucks in, in 2011. But I didn't. I bought me in 2012 to go into the deaf system, and here we are. And we've been able to make it. We're still here. And so that's all I'm saying. So, hey, but anyway, just really was talking about that, and just talking about, and the reason why the purge was because a lot of shippers are bringing the rate down at what they want to pay. So the brokers are kind of adjusting, and it's really just making it a little bit more. It's adjusting below the fuel costs, and at the same time the now that it's like the average driver is probably taking on, especially small drivers, they're taking on like 51% of the cost now. And when we're taking on 51%, that means we're losing, because it's upside down, 51 versus like 49%.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what the article was really about. It was like, now the smaller drivers or whatever have you is taking on 51% of the overhead. You see what I'm saying? The cost of fuel, et cetera, versus 49%. And so a lot of them are seeing that fuel is now cutting into
Well, yeah, to their profit.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all. And so a lot of them, it's hard to adjust to that. So the only thing I want to get on here today is encourage them to reach out, to CLA, and allow us to be able to, help you to look at the things you got going, see if we can put a plan together to try to adjust to get you out of it. You go to the website, CLA Logistics and Associate.com, CLA on Instagram. You can DM me, or CLA on Facebook. Or like I said, this right here will be on YouTube, at CLA on the YouTube channel. When you get on there, please subscribe and let us know what you're thinking. Because the biggest thing about us is really just trying to make sure that, you have an outlet. Whether you have to make certain decisions and start over, we'll walk you through everything. And like I said, you're looking at someone that had to adjust along the way between 4 presidents.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it as the proof is in the pudding.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so babe, quick question. What you got going on as far as Crawford Natural?
Right now I'm just making new product, promoting on my page.
Page is Crawford Natural.
Crawford Naturals is my page on Instagram.
Instagram.
Crawford
Okay.
_Naturals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's also on Shopify, right?
Yeah, I have a Shopify site. So if you go to my page, you'll see the link to my shop.
Gotcha.
Shopify.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, so that's why. So everybody just, one thing about this platform is really about trying to talk about the industry that we in and I love. But at the same time, we just take our time out on Tuesday, talk about it. Because like I said, Transportation Tuesday is the platform, but business is what we are all about. And so shop crawfordnatural.com. So
Thanks,
thank you,
Terry.
Carrie. So anyway, so, and like I said, what we try to do is just make sure everybody's about the business. So, but anyway, like I said, any day above ground, it's a beautiful day. And we'll talk to you next Tuesday. Thank you.
Thanks for everybody.
All right, bye.